Right? 11 minutes and 41 seconds. Somebody help me. Hey everybody, this is DM Mike, and yes, today is the next radio drama in the Hoard of the Dragon Queen campaign. We're still in Chapter 6, and yeah, I hit 11 minutes 41 seconds. I never would have thought that I would ever go that far, or go that long, really, with a radio drama. But that's where I'm at right now. This is a huge radio drama. This was a huge radio. It took a lot of work, a lot of time to do, of course, and I broke it up into scenes. We'll get to that later. But yeah, this is the longest one I've done so far. I went back to my SoundCloud and started looking at all the radio dramas and watched them steadily getting longer and longer and longer. And a lot of that is two things. You're reflecting on what the characters are doing, so you have to make changes in the world to what they're doing, the things they're saying and their actions they've taken, but also you still have to reflect also the story that's happening in Hoard of the Dragon Queen in Chapter 6 and introducing all these things. If you saw my radio drama process part 1, I'll just put a thumbnail up here or whatever the heck I got on it. You can see that. So my thinking involved with creating this radio drama. Now, in that creation, I didn't say, well, let's do this. Let's do 15 minutes. No, that's not the point. I'm not trying to do more length. I just want to respond naturally. That's the whole scope of the radio dramas. And of course, to push verisimilitude and, just the ambiance of the entire night and yada, yada, yada. And of course, I covered most of that in that process. Anyway, so I've connected really 3 scenes together. And we'll break them down here really fast. First one is Waterdeep. I called it Encounter at Waterdeep because at first I thought, well, maybe this might be it. This might be the only thing I do. But then I had some other ideas. But anyway, Encounter at Waterdeep has Jevin, the drow assassin, shaking down Simon. Simon is the guy they hired way back in El Terrell to kind of drive their caravan, all their trade goods that they had acquired by this point, from El Terrell to Waterdeep. And when they got there, he was going to watch over everything. Well, Jevin was tracking them the entire time and knew they were in Waterdeep and knew that they had left, but didn't know exactly where. He had some ideas, but he needed to know where. So he shakes down Simon. And that's what the first part of this is. It's Jevin the drow not capturing, really just kind of assaulting him in an alleyway, which you do in Waterdeep, and getting the information he needs about where is Frulam, where are these characters, because Frulam is still a target. Frulam is still something that a person that he has a bounty on that he wants to kill. And so now in this cutscene, it kind of breaks down where Jevin's at, where Simon's at, and how he comes across this information. So there we go. We got the first scene out of the way. It's a response to the characters. Simon didn't know what he was getting into. He was just driving the carriage. But other things, bigger world events have come into his smaller micro world. So that's the first scene. That ran about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And I was fine. I was happy with it. It was good. If I could be critical, it needs to be cut down just a little bit. I think Jevin's voice could have come a little bit earlier. There's little things like that you edit. But, sometimes you have to go fast. You have to record fast, write fast, everything, right? But the next thing, the next two scenes in that radio drama concern the castle Natar, the big castle in the swamp, and the new NPCs that I had to introduce, which were Splattergoo and Snapjaw and Born Grey, and then Rezimir had to be there, and then Cricket, our Fae, had to be there, and setting up the conflict that's going on between those NPCs, especially the Bullywugs and the Lizardfolk, how that intermingles. So I had to set all that up, and that ended up being another, I guess, around 6.5 minutes, something like that, and it just kind of exploded. And it naturally, not planned whatsoever. So, and the last 2 scenes in this radio drama, I'll just go play the whole thing. You can also see it on the SoundCloud as well if you don't want to sit through this video. But those last 2 scenes encompass the swamp and what's happening at the swamp and the characters' personalities and different things like that. Now, listen, if you're running Chapter 6 and you're running these NPCs, I read them differently. I mean, as anybody would, right? You're Drowmore Born Grey. You're oh, I hate this name, Splattergoo, it's going to be completely different, So take that as you listen to it. But it was a challenge to come up with Farbalex Splattergoo. Forgive me if I'm not saying his names right. But Splattergoo's voice, that took a while. I think it's one of the reasons why this radio drama took so long. It was trying to figure out, well, what's a toad sound like? How do I, in my limited capacity, how do I come up with something that sounds toad-like, a creature that is struggling with common language, talking to his superiors? How do I do this? Well, eventually I kind of figured out it's not perfect. I keep saying Mel Blanc, he's the one I always think of. But, Matt Mercer, the guy who did Decepticon, Frank Welker, who's probably the god of all voice acting. I'm not in that league, right? So I have to go with what I can do, which usually means a lot of modulation and changing things around. But anyway, I think it worked out really well. And you'll notice in the radio drama, I didn't voice Snapjaw because that would have created more time and trying to figure out, okay, what's he sound like? So he was very mute and didn't quite interact. But the first scene sets up Drowmore and a little bit of the lizard folk and the Bullywugs as like an immediate attack on the castle, because in my campaign I have allowed Snapjaw to be more of a separatist. He's more of a kind of a going in hit and run style on the castle, trying to convert his lizard folk to turn against their masters, but it's been kind of unsuccessful. So it sets up an attack on the castle and the introduction of Borngray, and then it moves into where Snapjaw's been captured, and you have Splattergoo come in, and you get a little feeling and a taste of foreshadowing of the things that are happening between all of them. But anyway, guys, if you want to stick around, listen to it. It's 11 minutes and about 41 seconds. It's the longest one I've done so far. Hopefully I've set the stage a little bit for you, so you understand where it was coming from and what I was reacting to. It took around 12 hours to do, probably more than that, really 15 to 20. As all things we do as DMs, right? We always pour hours into things we enjoy. So anyway, guys, let's get to it. This is 11 minutes, 41 seconds, and I think I called it, it had many names. I think I called it, what did I call it? Blades, Brawn, and Bullywugs. It worked. All right, guys, here it is. Blades, Brawns, and Bullywugs. Bullywugs. All right, guys, enjoy. Waterdeep. A place to make a name for yourself, and a place to lose yourself altogether. A city that rarely sleeps, bulging at its seams with citizens of every type. Human, reptilian, elven, beast. A proverbial symphony of exotic species huddled together under the jewel of the Sword Coast. A young man in his mid-20s, dressed in the trappings of a farmhand, exits a local inn, flipping a gold coin in the air, and mindlessly makes his way through the mass of endless crowds. Within moments, the farmhand is followed by a dark-clad figure, moving close by, yet bleeding into the crowds unnoticed. As the farmhand passes the alley, the cloaked figure makes his move. His victim had no time to react. Before he knew it, he was thrust into the alley, flung against a stone wall, and trapped like a dire rat, with a hot blade at his throat. The poor wretches sleeping in the side street took only one look and paid no heed. The sight of murder and theft, a common occurrence, as blood and gore flow like currency within the city walls. The assailant removes his hood, and a dark elf with silver hair and a mask made of steel accentuating his hawk-like features locks eyes with his victim. A soft, yet husky voice emits from the black metal.
Not a sound. You will answer my questions and live, or you will die here. Make your decision.
Sir, please, I don't have any money. I have nothing. I'm a farmhand, for God's sake. What do you want?
This is not a robbery. This is your life hanging in the balance. Make your decision, human. This is the last time it will be offered.
The blade bites deeper into his neck, the eyes of his attacker unwavering and sinister. A bluff was not in the cards. It was answer or die. I'll talk. What is it you want to know?
You arrived here a few days ago on a small caravan with several mercenaries. Is that correct?
Mercenaries?
Rat catchers.
Yes, I remember. I did. We came from El Terrell. I was their driver, sir. Nothing more.
Where are they now?
Gone, sir. They left the city about 2 days ago.
I am aware of this.
The knife draws a thin line of blood as onlookers continue to walk past or watch out of fiendish curiosity. Simon's heartbeat accelerates, the sweat like drops of rain from his forehead.
They spoke of the mere. The mere of dead men. I was to wait for them here for a fortnight. If they hadn't returned, I was to keep their belongings and head back to El Terrell. That's all I know, sir. That's all.
The blade seems to relax at his throat as the predatory eyes of his assailant seems to measure his response. Crowds continue. No one cares.
Was a tall black-haired woman with them. Strong, agile, the look of a warrior. Most likely armed with a blade at her side.
Yes, sir. There were three ladies in the caravan. The one you spoke of mostly kept to herself, said very little. But I think her name was Frulong.
The knife spun and dropped back into its sheath as a magic word was spoken.
Valen thought.
Simon's eyes rolled back and he fell to the ground, the gold coin rolling across the pavers and stopping next to a beggar, who quickly snatched it up with a toothless grin. By the time the coin had been grasped, Jevon was gone. There was barely a warning. The high elf Drowmore Borngrey, sitting atop the castle wall, sipping on elven whiskey, examines the amber brew just as a magical explosion rocks the foundation of the old Swan Castle. Borngrey doesn't seem to notice. He merely continues his evaluation of the golden drink, bringing it to his aquiline nose for another inspection. He turns to face the lizardfolk standing guard close by. Can you smell that? That there is the spice and fruits of my homeland. He swirls the whiskey in the glass, a plume of smoke rising behind him, as several arrows fly past aimlessly, one bouncing harmlessly off the shoulder quadrant. The long trek through this fetid swamp didn't affect a single ounce of its flavor. He raises the glass, toasting it. Damn good whiskey. Another explosion from below, as magical spells ricochet across the encampment. Drowmore finishes the glass and leans over the rotted walls to watch the skirmish. Behind him, the lizard folk, his personal guard, are on high alert, long spears out and ready for combat. Drowmore, adjusting his black eye patch, addresses their panic. This certainly wasn't the first time a crap storm such as this had occurred.
Relax yourselves, my friends. The swamp has not come to claim you today. This minor inconvenience won't dare make its way into the castle. It appears the bitterness between the clans continues.
He casually glances over the wall, then grabs the bottle of whiskey.
There's only two things that will be accomplished here. Shame. Shame and exile.
He pauses for effect, then continues.
Though I do like to find the silver lining in all of life's perils. So let's just say, a few bullywugs face down in the mud is something I can easily overlook.
He holds out the glass, nodding to his trusted guard.
To the true heirs of the swamp, and the death of all humanity for the cleansing of Faerun.
He drains the golden liqueur in a single gulp and smashes the glass against the stone. The lizard folk tilt their head at this, as Drowmore walks past, a smirk on his face.
Now, let's get this over with.
The door bursts open, and several bullywugs enter with a single lizardman chained at the wrists. They throw him at the feet of Borngrey and Rezamir. Just as Splattergoo, a taller and more rotund bullywug dressed in shamanistic vestments, enters and bows. Rezamir rests his hands on the black sword at his hip, while Borngrey pours another glass of whiskey. Splattergoo points to the chained prisoner.
The rebellion is finished, Lord Rezamir.
The shaman pauses for a moment, struggling with the common speech, but doing his best.
Bullywugs fought bravely. The great spirit of the swamp captured and delivered this one for you, great Rezamir.
Rezamir walks over to the chained prisoner and pulls his sword. He places it under the lizardman's chin, forcing him to look into his eyes.
What is this one's name?
Borngray takes a step forward.
His name is Snapjaw, if I remember right. Of the Scaly Death Tribe. He's caused trouble more than once. But today was exceptional.
Your clan has been paid tribute, has it not? Do we not give generously of our steel? Yet you insult us with your traitorous acts.
The lizardman gives no answer, as the cold black steel draws blood at his chin. He only stares at Rezamir with contempt and cold reptilian eyes.
We have captured most of his people, Lord Rezamir. Shall we kill him and his stickwood scum?
If I may, Lord.
Drowmore casually takes Rezamir aside, facing away from the Bullywugs.
I think killing him outright would be a bad move altogether.
Explain yourself.
As always, Lord, it's political. You kill this one now, you'll have a martyr, not just a dead pond scum. That could cause trouble down the road, and may even upset the black one in the swamp. We may have the Bullywugs under control, but the lizard folk, though stronger and far more useful to us for the time being, may prove a hostile foe if they turn on us. And remember who one of their allies is. That one could cause trouble.
Very well. Then what do you suggest?
The two lords discuss something in whispers, and then turn to face the prisoner.
Great shaman of the swamp and lord of the Bullywugs.
Splattergoo's stature seems to rise, standing up straighter as Rezamir's astute compliment and title recognition catches the old swamp toad off guard.
Gather his people. Strip them of all possessions and take the steel granted to them. You are then to brand each one with the mark of a traitor and escort them to the castle boundaries. Inform your people that if Snapjaw and his pack of traitors is to come within our borders, they are to be killed on sight. No mercy.
Rezamir glances down at the lizardman, his sword at the creature's chin.
I have granted you mercy, Snapjaw. Your part in this story has come to an end.
Rezamir sheaths his sword.
Take him away. It will be as you command, Lord Rezamir. Take him.
The Bullywugs drag the captured lizard to his feet and exit the chamber. Both Borngray and Rezamir resume their business, turning to the large table, as Rezamir removes an item from a locked chest, covered with a black velvet cloth, and places it onto the table.
So, what have you brought, my lord? Another dragon artifact from the forge? I can feel an energy from it.
Rezamir removes the black velvet cloth from the orb. Borngray inadvertently takes 2 steps backwards, stopping mid-drink.
Can it be?
It is, indeed.
Mirrored in the High Elf's eyes, Cricket unfolds herself from her fetal position, a look of exhaustion and fear upon her face.
This just got interesting.
There you go, guys. That is it. That is the 11 minutes and 41 seconds. Hopefully I didn't bore your pants off with it. But it was fun to put together. It was challenging to put together. And by the time I was done, I realized what I had. I was looking at this going, oh my God, this is like 3 cutscenes all together. And come game night, I was actually going to split it off. I was going to take Encounter at Waterdeep and play it that night, which was just last Friday, and then play the next 2 the next week. But I needed to introduce Snapjaw. And I wanted to know what was going on in Waterdeep, because in my campaigns, I don't shut everything else down and just focus on what's happening in front of me. Like Greenest, there's still things going on. Kingston, where they started in my campaign, things are still going on, right? And so Waterdeep, the same thing. Things are happening. Things are happening at the castle. So I let my players know this. I told them, look, if I'm going crazy, you need to stop me, because I do enjoy this aspect of Dungeons & Dragons. And they had no problems with it. So I don't think any more are going to be that long. There might be one or two come later, deeper into the campaign, maybe when we get into the second book. But my goal is not to continue to create such... That's a lot of material. That's a lot of material. And we've reached now, I think on my SoundCloud, I'm over an hour in radio drama. Everything that's happened since we started to now. So it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. There was a radio drama. I'm not going to be doing, I think, another one coming up. We're just kind of trying to get to the castle right now. So I feel like I've set the stage. NPCs are set. The tension is set. They know what's going on. And now we just need to get there. So yeah, that's it. I think I'm done for at least another 2 weeks or so before another radio drama comes out. But anyway, campaign diaries to come next. More maps from Tabletop Simulator to show you what I'm kind of doing, especially with Castle Natier. And the recent one they're in right now, fighting the undead in a small swamp section. I'll probably post that this week as well. So stay tuned for the campaign diary and everything else. And thanks, guys, for watching. Sorry it's getting longer. I will shorten it. Okay, I will shorten it. But I can't make any promises like it's always going to be that way. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.